moving day, actually. And then
It's a story of the most improbable nature, one that spans borders
I was sort of astounded to find all of these letters
and generations.
Quite incredible.
When Eastleigh resident Steve Foster retired, he decided to explore his ancestry, but what he found was much more than a family tree. During World War II, his father, Fredrick, who was fighting in Norway, was captured by enemy forces and taken to a prisoner of war camp. Here he met Anthony Coulthard, a linguist who spent 18 months teaching Foster German. In turn, Foster took up a job at the camp's magazine and used his typewriter to forge documents. An escape plan was formed,
where they changed into their escape clothes and 2 helpers took away their uniform. They jumped out of a top window and then past the German barracks and the German officer's house and then turned left on the way to Torun, to the station.
Fleeing Poland by train, the escapees travelled through Nazi Germany gathering intel, arriving to the near freedom of the Swiss border. Soon came a deadly mistake.
Coulthard, with his sort of dash and his daring and his good German, made it across. Dad, because of his demeanour or because of his lack of German language, was being severely interviewed by the Gestapo, and he looked up thinking, well, Coulthard's made it, I'm not going to make it. And he saw Anthony walking back from freedom.
The men were sent back to Poland, separated to different camps until the end of the war. It wasn't until Steve's father returned to England that he found out what had happened to his escape partner.
From what I've heard, he made the fatal mistake of returning to help you at the last moment. Foolhardy, but praiseworthy. And now he has gone, perished miserably and unnecessarily.
In what were described as torture marches for prisoners of war in Europe, Coulthard died in the harsh cold of winter. Learning of this decades later, Steve decided it was his responsibility to retrace his father's footsteps and locate Coulthard's grave, which had never been found.
Anthony had given up his freedom and eventually his life for Dad. And I felt that if I found his grave, it was something I could do for them.
After 4 years of research and travelling, Foster was able to find Coulthard's final resting place. The Lance Corporal's grave was rededicated in 2015, with a ceremony attended both by Foster and Coulthard's families. Sharing this story prompted a publisher to reach out to Foster to write a book, released in 2018 entitled The Soldier Who Came Back. Foster said writing the book helped create a clearer picture of the life his father lived.
Without the book, I probably wouldn't have gone into that detail. And I occasionally reread the book just to remind myself of the story. I could never find Dad's replies.